Hey guys, it's Layla from Ignite, and in today's video, I'm going to tackle how you should structure your responses for the comprehension sections in question 1 of the common module of the human experience paper. Some students have had some questions about how to go about the 6 and the 7 mark questions, how many paragraphs you need, how you should be framing your thesis statement, and this video is going to help you very directly with that. So what I've got here is a sample paper from the NESA release, and the link to that is just below. Let's have a read through it together. So I'm not going to go through the text themselves or give you exemplars. It's purely just a step back and an assessment of what this kind of essay would look like in terms of length of response and how to structure your paragraphs. So the question reads, and it's worth 6 marks, compare how text 2 and text 3 explore the paradoxes in the human experience. So some key points to note here is number 1, they've given you a thematic focus. The concept of the paradoxes of human experience shouldn't be forlorn to you. It's in the rubric, and if you read through the rubric, notions of the anomalies of human experience, the shared aspects of human experience, these are all probably going to come up in the comprehension question. So paradoxes, think about that in light of the specific representations the texts present. And the second key point to take away is that it's a comparison and you've got 2 texts that you're discussing. The number of texts that are framed in the question gives a clear indication of the pathway that the structure of this essay is going to follow. And I think it's going to follow something like this. So it's worth 6 marks. I think what we need for this response is an introduction and 2 key paragraphs. In that introduction, you're going to start off in your first sentence with a thesis statement. Frame exactly what the paradox is between these 2 texts and contrast what in each of these texts' form and features distinguishes how this paradox is represented. So what we're starting off here, right, the thesis statement, we're saying these texts are connected by a certain paradox. It might be 2 antithetical emotions that are conveyed, or perhaps the ups and downs of human experience, how both of those constitute the inherent nature of human experience. Whatever that paradox is, we're saying this is a connection between the 2 texts. And you're going to branch off in the comparison in discussing how and why these representations taking place. So distinguishing the formal features of each of these texts and the way these ideas are portrayed is what is going to give you that material to actually analyze and compare them, right? So the key point here, they're connected by some kind of paradox. What you're analyzing is how is this representation distinguishing these 2 texts. So what you're going to do after that thesis statement, so where you framed your key idea, you're going to signpost what your body paragraphs will discuss to justify this thesis. So while text 1 embodies a persona and poetic forms to explore this paradox of human experience, text 2 in its visual form uses salience and symbolism, right? So I would actually specifically frame, these are the key formal features that are distinguishing the ways in which this paradox is being explored. Now, because you've got 2 key texts in the question, I think it makes sense to have 2 body paragraphs and each of those paragraphs focusing on one of those texts. So you'll start off with text 1 in paragraph 1. You'll give the topic sentence which will frame this is how text 1 explores this paradox of human experience. And then because it's 6 marks, I think 2 quotes in the paragraph is enough. So it'll be 4 bits of evidence altogether, plus you've got the broader structuring of the thesis and the conclusion. I think that cohesively warrants the 6 marks altogether. So you've got topic sentence, 2 times quote, technique, effect. Don't forget when you're discussing your effect to link back to the question. Your referencing to paradox should be ingrained through the body paragraph. And then you'll have your concluding sentence, which again links back to the premise of the question. And it's really just the same for text 2, okay? You're doing the same thing. You're framing the paradox with relation to the second text. You're going through the evidence and you're giving your concluding sentence. And that's pretty much it in terms of the content. You've got your intro, where the thesis is, you've got text 1, text 2, and then you've got your conclusion at the end. And the conclusion is really just reiterating your key points and you're linking back to the question. So that's my advice for the macro structure here, how many body paragraphs, how to split them with relation to the type of question you've been given. We had a question where we've got the thematic focus and you're comparing that between 2 texts. Because you're being asked to compare, it makes sense to compare one key idea, but how it's been represented in different ways. One other bit of advice I'd just like to give you is to come up with your thesis and to know how you're going to order your paragraphs in the exam. It does require a bit of time of planning. So don't just launch into starting to write your response and then halfway work out, I don't know if I can carry through with this response to my second body paragraph and have that inconsistency. Think before you start writing, plan out, okay, this is my thesis, that's what I'm going to discuss in body paragraph 1, that's what I'll use in 2, and having that time spent thinking will give you that logical progression in your response and have that integrity in the way that it all ties together. But I hope the video was helpful. Have a crack at answering the practice question that we've put up there from the sample paper. Follow this type of structure and see how you go with it. If you have any questions, please do comment below and like and subscribe to our channel. But for now, guys, I thank you so much for watching. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you do like the content, subscribe to our channel and we'll have more videos coming your way.
That's right, guys. Thanks for watching, and please make sure you check out our online resource database. We've had a team of state rank achievers and heads of English put these together for you, covering everything from essay structures and examples all the way through to craft of writing and comprehension skills. So check them out at ignitehse.com.au, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.